Let's add another half trillion to that, 500 billion. And if you chart it out in a graph, it looks like comical because
Hmm.
what you've got is this upward sloping curve. Even in inflation adjusted terms, it's going up and it has been going up for years. But to add 500 billion to that, it's just like literally off the charts. It just jumps up so far. It's really quite remarkable. Now, of course, we all know how Trump works, and so a lot of supporters will say, "Well, he's just trying to negotiate maybe another 200 billion." That would still be off the charts to have it go from 1 trillion to 1.2 trillion just in Pentagon spending plus then VA spending. So that's what we're talking about. These are huge numbers and also bigger than Cold War numbers. This is something that we have to keep in mind. This is not going back to anything lower than was occurring in the 80s during Reagan's big defense buildup. If we adjust for inflation, there's a lot more spending going on now on the military than was going on even in the 80s when we were told the United States needed to fight the evil empire and there was a missile gap and the US still might lose and the Soviets might win. They still were spending less than they're spending now to confront countries that have in no way sworn eternal enmity toward the US, like, say, the Soviets were doing in the 1960s. So that's just like a totally different reality. Nonetheless, the spending is higher than ever. And as you noted, of course, they don't even know where that money goes once they spend it because no audit has been passed. They announced that, oh, this time we're going to get our act together and we're going to pass the audit. Their new target year for passing an audit is 2028. They're not even promising to do anything this year or next year. That's going to require another at least 24 months to figure out how to pass that audit. So obviously nobody should believe that or take that seriously. So that's just kind of the reality now where we are with federal spending. It's just very, very large. And we should know, by the way, that these increases are Biden level sorts of increases in
Hmm.
overall spending. So a lot of Republican types who don't like Biden are saying, oh, right, he had runaway spending in the final year of his administration, which was by far the largest year for spending after COVID. So imagine what has federal spending looked like in the last few years? Well, first of all, in the last year of Trump, it was gigantic, right? Huge $2 trillion deficits because he was just spending everything he could on COVID relief. And in those days, the idea was just spend, 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 print up $6 trillion, and we'll deal with the inflation later. We're back to that now. If you look at federal spending and you even adjust for inflation, this is the second worst year ever in terms of it's the fiscal year and what's federal spending look like. It's the second worst ever, and it's also the third worst ever in terms of deficits so far this fiscal year. So we're on track to end the fiscal year with a deficit of probably at least 1.6, 1.7 trillion dollars, which is huge. Uh, you would have to go back to basically the COVID year to find those sorts of deficits. And if the insane spending of the COVID year is your baseline now, well, we're in deep, deep trouble. So this is not a reversion to the mean by any means. Now that you've got Trump in there, he is continuing Biden era and COVID era sorts of spending, and the military spending is just a part of that.